Hey guys, it's Esteban again with Incognitistic. Today I want to talk about how relationships can suffer when they are neurodiverse. For instance, mine. For a long time, in the beginning of my relationship with my wife, while we were dating, and then about 5 to 7 years into the relationship, I thought that everything was going great and everything seemed perfect in my mind, and I had a job and we were married, we had a house, we had our son, and I thought things were going great. And out of nowhere, seemingly, my wife told me that I was acting badly and I was being controlling and verbally abusive and manipulative. And this was something that blindsided me. And for a while I didn't believe it. But at the same time, my wife was so adamant about it that I couldn't not believe it. I had to take her word for it because she had always been a lot more able to see social normalcies better than I have. And so I ended up again being blindsided and not really knowing what I was doing wrong. And one thing led to another, to where she hinted at certain things and told me that there was books about it. And so I read everything I could and listened to everything I could about being verbally abusive, controlling, and manipulative. And I thought that I was a narcissist, and I thought that I was codependent, and I thought that I was a terrible person. And so I went to different groups. I talked to Codependent Anonymous. I went to their conferences. I learned everything I could. I became an acquaintance of Patricia Evans, who writes books on verbally abuse and controlling people, because I just wanted to be the person that my wife needed me to be. And interestingly enough, throughout that whole time, I went through therapists and psychologists, psychiatrists, and none of them really saw that I had autism or ADHD. And I went to these guys for sometimes years. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. The relationship suffered a lot because I was only able to see myself and what my interests were. And in a way, that's kind of a narcissistic trait that some of us neurodivergents have. And it's not something that's particularly enjoyable for the neurotypical person in your family. But it's also something that we can't really do a lot about. We have to be able to be mindful about our partners. And over time, I was able to develop tools that seemed to work, under false pretense anyways, that I was somehow maliciously verbally abusive and controlling and manipulative. when in fact it was just me not masking in front of my wife and being direct and blatantly direct and telling her how I felt in my reality in a way that's not socially acceptable. And of course, controlling my environment so that I wasn't in chaos, and so I didn't have to get the anxiety about something changing the routine. So, with that being said, that was long before I was diagnosed with ADHD and later autism. Yet, all those little categories kind of fit together, just not for the same reasons. And when I had my coffee incident and went to the therapist that actually saw the signs of ADHD and then got evaluated by the psychiatric provider and also found out that I had autism, those tools were kind of lost. And it was not because I wasn't able to use them or remember them. It was because I felt that a lot of the tools were demeaning to who I was. And so I had to learn new tools, and through reading and watching and meeting people and seeking out guidance from experts, I was able to develop tools that made my wife and my relationship a lot happier. Anyhow, in a nutshell, thanks for watching. Take care.